Welcome to the Money Talk Simple podcast, the show that breaks down money, wealth, and the world simply. I'm your host, Josh.
And I'm Nora.
And today we are tackling a big one. It's a word you hear adults talk about all the time, that you see on the news, that governments seem to worry about constantly.
Yeah, and it's something that families feel, every single week when they go to the supermarket. We are talking about inflation.
Inflation, but we're going to explain it like you're 10 years old.
Exactly. No confusing finance jargon, no boring textbook definitions.
Nope, just a simple chat about why things seem to get more expensive all the time and what that actually means for your piggy bank. So Nora, where do we start? What is inflation?
Okay, let's start with the absolute simplest version possible. Inflation means prices go up over time.
That's it?
That's it at its core. If a chocolate bar used to cost $1, but now it costs $2, that's inflation in action.
Okay, or like a loaf of bread. Maybe it used to be $2 and now you go to the store and it's $5. The price has gone up.
Right, but here's the important part. Inflation isn't just one thing becoming more expensive. If only that one chocolate bar gets more expensive, maybe the company just changed its price for some reason. But when lots of things become more expensive all at the same time, we're talking food, gas for the car, rent, clothes, electricity, school supplies. That is inflation. It's broad.
Okay, so imagine this. You have $10. A few years ago, maybe you could take that $10 and buy, let's see, one sandwich, one drink, and maybe even a small snack.
Yeah, pretty good lunch.
Exactly. But today, with inflation, that same $10 bill might only be enough to buy the sandwich.
And this is the key. The money didn't disappear. You still have $10.
Right, it's still a 10.
But what that $10 can buy has gotten smaller. Its power has decreased. That's the big idea.
Okay, I love a good example. Let's use one a 10-year-old would definitely understand. Ice cream.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So imagine there's an ice cream shop near your school. Last year, one scoop of ice cream cost $2.
And you have $10, so you could buy 5 scoops. That's a party.
5 scoops? But now imagine this year. The price has changed. One scoop costs $2.50.
Ah, okay, so you still have your $10, but now you can only buy 4 scoops.
Exactly. You didn't lose any dollars from your wallet, but you lost one scoop of ice cream.
That is inflation. Your money just buys less stuff than it did before.
And that's why you hear adults say, oh, everything is getting so expensive. They're really just saying the same amount of money doesn't buy as much as it used to.
Right. So the next big question is why? Why does this happen? Why don't prices just stay the same forever? It would be so much easier.
It really would, but there are a few simple reasons. The first one is that, things just cost more to make. Let's think about a bakery that makes bread.
Okay, a bakery. So to make bread, they need flour, electricity for the ovens, workers to bake it, delivery trucks to get it to the store.
Rent for the shop, packaging, all of it. So what happens if the price of flour goes up, or electricity becomes more expensive, or the fuel for the trucks costs more?
Then the bakery has a problem. It now costs them more money to make every single loaf of bread.
So what can they do? They have to raise the price of their bread. And it's not always because the bakery is being greedy. Sometimes it's just because they themselves are paying higher prices for everything they need.
So businesses pass on some of their higher costs to us, the customers. That's one big reason.
Right. Now, another reason prices go up is because lots of people want the same thing, but there's not enough of it to go around.
Oh, like the hot new toy at Christmas that everyone wants.
Exactly. Or imagine your school canteen. Let's say they only have 10 cupcakes, but 50 kids all want a cupcake.
Those cupcakes are suddenly very, very popular. The canteen knows everyone wants one, so they might raise the price.
And that's a famous idea called supply and demand. Supply is how much of something exists, the 10 cupcakes. Demand is how many people want it, the 50 kids.
So if there's not enough stuff, not enough oil, not enough houses, not enough fruit because of bad weather, and lots of people want it, prices can go way up.
That's why you see shortages lead to higher prices. It's all about that balance.
Okay, so here's another way to think about it. Money is kind of like a ticket. It gives you the power to buy things, a movie ticket, a bus ticket, whatever.
Right, a ticket to get stuff.
But inflation makes each of your tickets a little less powerful. So a $10 ticket today might not have the same buying power as a $10 ticket in the future.
That's why our grandparents say things like,
When I was young, a movie ticket only cost a few cents.
and we're all like, what? How is that even possible?
It's because prices were just so much lower back then. But, and this is important, people also usually earned a lot less money back then too. The real problem happens when prices rise faster than people's income.
That's when families really feel squeezed, because more and more of their money goes to just the basics: food, rent, gas, bills, and there's less left over for saving or for fun things like holidays or going to the movies.
So this sounds bad. Is inflation always a bad thing?
That's a great question, and surprisingly, no, it's not always completely bad. A small, slow, predictable amount of inflation is actually pretty normal for an economy.
Really? Why?
Well, when prices rise just a little bit, it encourages people to spend and invest. Businesses can grow and wages can rise along with it. It's a sign of a growing economy.
Okay, but high inflation, that's the problem.
Yes, when prices rise too quickly, people feel stressed. You know, a family might go to the supermarket and realize their usual grocery list costs way more than it did last month. So they have to start making tough choices. Maybe buy cheaper brands or stop buying some things altogether.
Okay, here's a fun example for this. Imagine the economy is like a balloon.
A balloon? Okay.
A little bit of air is good. The balloon gets bigger and stronger. That's like a healthy economy growing slowly. But if you blow too much air into the balloon too quickly, what happens?
It pops.
Exactly. High inflation is like too much air going into the economy too fast. Prices shoot up, people panic, and that's when governments and these things called central banks have to step in and try to slow things down before it pops.
So who is in charge of inflation? Is there like an inflation boss?
Not really. No single person controls all the prices, but governments and more specifically central banks try to manage it.
A central bank. That sounds important.
It is. Think of it like the money traffic controller for a whole country. In America, it's called the Federal Reserve. In the UK, it's the Bank of England. Their job is to keep the economy stable.
And one of the main tools they use to control that balloon from popping is something called interest rates.
Okay, another big word. Let's break that down simply. Interest is just the extra money you pay when you borrow money.
Right, if you get a loan to buy a house or a car, you have to pay back more than you borrowed. That extra bit is the interest.
So when inflation is too high, when the balloon is getting too full, the central banks raise interest rates. That makes borrowing money more expensive.
And if it's more expensive to borrow, people and businesses tend to borrow less and spend less. And if everyone spends less, the demand for stuff cools down, and prices might stop rising so quickly.
But there is a catch. Higher interest rates can make life harder for people who already have loans, so it's a really delicate balancing act for them.
Let's tell a quick story to make this even clearer. Imagine a tiny island. On this island, there are 10 people, and there are 10 coconuts.
10 people, 10 coconuts. Got it. And each person has $1, so there's $10 total on the whole island. Each coconut costs $1. Simple.
Perfect. Now imagine a helicopter flies over and drops a bunch of money. Everyone gets another dollar. So now each person has $2. There's $20 total on the island.
Everyone's rich.
Are they? Because there are still only 10 coconuts.
Oh, right. More money, but not more stuff. So what happens to the price of coconuts?
It'll probably go up. Instead of $1 each, they might become $2 each. People have more dollars, but they aren't actually richer in real life because the number of coconuts never changed.
That's a huge lesson. More money doesn't always mean more wealth. Real wealth is having more useful things, more coconuts.
And for families, inflation feels a bit like that. The tricky thing is that it can feel invisible at first.
You don't always notice it day to day.
It's like having a blanket that keeps shrinking every night, just a tiny bit. At first, you don't notice, but then one day you wake up and your feet are sticking out.
That's a perfect analogy. That's exactly how inflation feels. Your money is the blanket, and it just doesn't cover as much as it used to.
So, what can people actually do about this? We can't control the whole economy.
No, but we can make smarter money choices. First, just track where your money goes. When prices are rising, it's more important than ever to know what you're spending on.
Second, try to be more intentional with your spending. Doesn't mean never have fun, just think about it a bit more.
Third, build an emergency fund if you can. Inflation makes surprise costs like car repairs hurt even more.
And maybe the most powerful thing is to learn skills that can help you earn more money over time. And for grown-ups, learning about investing can help your money grow so it keeps up with rising prices.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. Can we explain inflation in one simple sentence?
Let's try. Inflation means things get more expensive, so the same amount of money buys less than it did before.
If you had $10 and could buy 5 ice creams, but now you can only buy 4, that's inflation.
It happens because things cost more to make or because too many people want too few things. A little bit can be normal, but too much makes life harder for everyone.
And that's why it matters, because even if you never study finance, you feel inflation every time you buy something. So remember,
Money is not just about how many dollars you have, it's about what those dollars can buy.
And when prices rise, your money needs a plan.
Thanks for tuning in. Join us next time as we unpack another idea you think you know.
And if you haven't already, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's next.